Does knowing that the Jamaicans are kind of turning up at their trials right now, does that amp you up a little bit?
Shoot, I want to see what they do.
Well,
and I'm trying to see something.
You want to know?
What, did they already start running?
Yeah, Kishane Thompson ran 9.82 in the 100 meets.
All right, nice. Let's hope he stays healthy.
Tell us about your.
What were you gonna say, Noah?
She spoke on Kishane like pretty early. I remember he's been this good and he just got hurt. He's about to do something crazy this weekend, and that was right before Jamaican trials.
Yeah, and when we were in the interview and they said how fast he run, I said, I hope he stays injured. I hope he stays injured. I hope he stays injured. I hope he stays injured because I know that he's had a hard history with injuries, and that every time he runs fast, he usually has to be taken off because he usually hurt. So the fact that he was able to keep going is like, oh, this is great. He's actually being able to show his full potential.
What's good, everybody? It's the GOAT Aaron Brown, and before this video start, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's linked down below in the description. And if you want to support my channel and you appreciate the content I've been making, be sure to become a member of my channel. And I've seen a lot of people had concerns and difficulties of becoming a member of my channel, so I'm gonna show you how to do it, especially from an iPhone. So you have to go to the online version of YouTube on Safari and click the double A's in the bottom left corner and do it a request desktop version. And we request a desktop version, then you could go to my channel, the Aaron Brown, kaboom. And right next to the subscribe button is the join button. And that's how you join my channel to support it. And yeah, I appreciate all the support. Now let's jump straight into it. This is why I often say that it's important to shut up and just do what you're meant to do and stop talking so damn much, because your mouth will reveal what your brain and heart is actually feeling. And I remember when it initially came out and Noah did the interview and he was talking about, I hope Kishane stay healthy with a little side eye and start drinking his water, trying to get some laughs at the USA trials. I was like, that really came from a malice place, and you can tell. Like, some people are like, oh, no, he just meant he hope he stays healthy because he have a history of injuries. No, he was trying to be funny, in my opinion. And it's just pretty much what everybody is seeing and agreeing on. In the quote tweets of this tweet that I found on Twitter, people were saying that that he said what he meant and nobody corrected him. He didn't go back and correct himself. And it's crazy because when I initially saw this interview the Track World News put out, and like, he could have even edited that part out. But when I initially saw this interview the Track World News put out and I was listening to it, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh shit. So it was nothing like it was just, it was easy to glance over, or, because it was something that was just clear and blatant. So I was like, okay, he meant what he said, but if he didn't, like, that was easy to correct. So that was like a simple mistake that he heard and everybody else on the panel heard, but they just glanced over it because they know, bro, initial intent, and it's of a place for malice. So like I say all the time, like, when Noah starts running his mouth, he's a hard guy to like. Him running faster, he's immensely talented and one of the most talented people in track currently. But he's just a very, very, very unlikable guy once he opened his big mouth and started running it. And then he also talked about certain things in his interview that he did with these guys, talking about how he's off of Twitter because it's negative, and he don't understand why there's so many Americans that's not behind him, and like the Jamaicans are behind their athletes, but the Americans are not behind him. And he was just so genuinely confused into why they weren't behind him, when it's clearly pretty obvious, in my opinion. Like, he's just a very unlikable guy. So despite you being American, as an American myself, you're hard to root for. Despite you having a lot of talent, I'd rather go root for somebody else who's talented, because there's a lot of people with talent and more talent than bro. So I'd rather go root for them and see them win and see you lose, because you're just hard to like. You're hard to get behind. The things you say, the things you do, they're hard to support, in my opinion. Just speaking for myself, not really just the masses. I mean, people have their reasons why they like or dislike you. I don't really like bro. I don't really wish anything, no harm on bro. Like, I definitely want to see him go to the Olympic Games and finish last place in the 100 and the 200. But I don't want him to be sick. I don't want him to be injured. I want him to show up perfectly healthy and just get last place. And that's coming from an American. Like, I know, and if it's hard for your home country to get behind you, it's going to be really, really hard for the rest of the world to get behind you. A guy like Kishane Thompson, he has Jamaica behind him. He also has the rest of the world behind him because he's a humble guy. And you don't necessarily have to be humble, but, you know, because you can be not humble and still be likable. Like Noah, he's not really a humble guy. He's not likable. Now, I do wish that a lot of people don't win and that they go perform poorly, but I do wish them to be healthy when they do such things. But to wish injury on the person and things of that nature, that's not something I really do. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I won't just cry or nothing, but to openly do it on the podcast, and especially as a competitor, to openly do it on the podcast, you not correct yourself. Nobody on the podcast, like who's supposed to be your friend, stop you and correct you. Or even after it was pre-recorded and they'd even go back and edit it, they'd even edit that out. Like, it just goes to show that the people you think rocking with you ain't really rocking with you. And hell, you ain't really damn near rocking with yourself. The United States ain't rocking with you. So you really showing up to the Olympics. A lot of people are hoping you do bad, including myself. And I want to see you be healthy while you do bad. But I just think that you're just a very unlikable person. And it's just super hard to get behind. I don't want to just talk in circles on this video, but that's just my stance on it. Like, if he goes to Paris and he does well, I'll be highly upset. Probably be depressed for a few days. Then I'll eventually get over it. But if he goes and does bad, I'm gonna rent out a club in Vegas, order bottle service, and whole track and field community. Y'all can pull up to Vegas and celebrate that with me. That special great occasion. But yeah, that's just really how I felt on this this thing. I can't determine if bro meant to say what he said or if he didn't mean to say what he said. Like, that's up for him to determine. I can't read minds, but y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments.